My name is Margaret Thompson. I'm 72 years old, and I live in a quiet little house on the outskirts of Charlotte, North Carolina. The same modest three-bedroom home where I raised my only son, Ryan, after his father passed away from a heart attack back in 2008. For the last 6 years, I gave that boy and his wife, Brittany, everything I had. It started right after the pandemic hit. Ryan lost his job at the car dealership. Brittany was pregnant with their first child and couldn't work. I stepped in without hesitation. Every month, I sent them $2,800 for rent on their nice townhouse in the Ballantyne area. I cashed out part of my late husband's 401k to buy them a new SUV when theirs broke down. When Brittany said she wanted to open a little online boutique selling mommy and me outfits, I wired her $18,000 to get it started. "Mom, you're a saint," Ryan would say on our Sunday calls, his voice full of gratitude. Brittany would jump in with that sweet southern drawl. "Miss Margaret, I swear I don't know what we'd do without you. You're more like a best friend than a mother-in-law." I believed them. I really did. I started dreaming about their wedding, a proper one, not just some quick courthouse thing. I imagined a beautiful ceremony at the small vineyard outside Asheville, with white chairs, fairy lights, and all our family there. My sister Linda from Atlanta, my brother Tom and his kids from Raleigh, our old church friends, the neighbors who watched Ryan grow up. I had quietly saved another $45,000 in a special wedding fund account. I even picked out a soft lavender mother of the groom dress and imagined walking Ryan down the aisle. One crisp October evening, I called Ryan like always. "Hey, honey, I was thinking we really need to lock down that wedding date. I want to start sending out save the dates and talk to the venue before they book up for next spring." There was a short pause. Then I heard Brittany take the phone. Her voice was honey sweet, almost amused. "Oh, Margaret, we actually already got married last month. It was just a small, intimate courthouse ceremony. We only invited the important people, you know? We didn't want any stress or big fuss." The words hit me like a truck. "Important people?" I repeated, my voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah," she said lightly, like she was talking about the weather. "Ryan's college buddies, my sorority sisters, my parents and siblings. We kept it super low-key. No drama, no big expenses. You understand, right? We're adults now." I stood there in my kitchen, staring at the faded family photos on the fridge. Ryan as a little boy on my lap, Ryan graduating high school with me beaming beside him. My hand started shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. I managed to say, "But I'm his mother." Brittany let out a little laugh. "Oh, come on, Margaret. It's 2026. Weddings aren't a big deal anymore. We'll do a big reception party later when we can afford it. Don't be dramatic." Ryan never even got back on the phone. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed and cried until my eyes were swollen. I felt invisible, erased, like I had never mattered at all. But the worst part, it didn't stop there. 2 weeks later, Brittany called me again. This time her tone had shifted from sweet to urgent. "Margaret, we're in a tight spot. The townhouse rent is 2 months behind, almost $6,000 now. The landlord is threatening eviction. Can you help us out just one more time? We'll pay you back as soon as Ryan gets that promotion." I looked at my bank account. After everything I had given them, the wedding fund was down to less than $8,000. My Social Security and small pension barely covered my own bills and medications for my arthritis and high blood pressure. I had been eating canned soup and rice most nights to stretch things. This time, something deep inside me, something that had been cracking for years, finally snapped. "Brittany," I said quietly, "I've already given you and Ryan over $140,000 in the last 6 years. I don't have anything left. You're both grown adults now. You need to figure this out on your own." The line went dead silent for a few seconds. Then her voice turned ice cold. "Wow, after everything we've been through, After I carried your grandchild, you're really going to abandon your own son like this? Ryan is going to be devastated when I tell him." She hung up before I could respond. The next month was hell. They started showing up at my house unannounced. Ryan looked uncomfortable, shifting from foot to foot on my porch, but Brittany did all the talking. She brought the grandkids, little Emma and baby Jacob, and used them like emotional weapons. "Grandma, why don't you love Daddy anymore?" Emma asked one afternoon, repeating words I'm sure she'd been coached to say. Then the real pressure began. One Saturday morning, a black Mercedes pulled into my driveway. Out stepped Ryan, Brittany, and a slick wire in an expensive suit. They had papers. The lawyer explained, very politely, that they were concerned about my declining mental capacity. They had statements from a doctor they knew, paid for by them, of course, suggesting I showed signs of early dementia. They wanted me to sign over power of attorney, put the house in Ryan's name for safekeeping, and transfer what was left in my savings and my late husband's pension into a joint account. Brittany stood there with a concerned smile, holding Jacob on her hip. "We just want what's best for you, Margaret. You shouldn't have to worry about those at your age." I felt nauseous. This wasn't love. This was a calculated takeover. I didn't yell. I didn't cry in front of them. Instead, I said calmly, "I'm not signing anything today. I need time to think." As soon as they left, I did two things. First, I called my old friend Carol, whose daughter is a sharp estate attorney in Raleigh. I told her everything and sent her screenshots of years of bank transfers, Venmo requests, and text messages where Brittany had called me mom and the best mother-in-law ever. Second, I quietly changed the locks on my house and installed a Ring camera at the front door and one in the living room. The war had begun. Over the next several months, they escalated. They spread rumors in our small church community that I was becoming confused and paranoid, that I was accusing them of stealing from me. Brittany posted vague Facebook updates about toxic family members who turn on you when you need them most. Ryan barely spoke to me directly anymore. When he did, it was scripted. "Mom, Brittany's right. You're not thinking clearly. Let us help you." They even tried to get my doctor to question my competence during a routine visit, but my longtime physician, Dr. Patel, knew me too well and refused. The court hearing was the lowest point of my life. They filed a petition to declare me incapacitated and appoint Ryan as my guardian. The courtroom in Charlotte was cold and formal. Brittany sat there in a modest dress, dabbing fake tears with a tissue. Ryan avoided my eyes. Their lawyer painted me as a lonely, confused widow who had been taken advantage of by online scammers and was now lashing out at her own family. They brought witnesses, a neighbor they had influenced, and that paid doctor. But my attorney was prepared. She presented 6 years of detailed financial records showing every dollar I had transferred to them. She played audio recordings I had secretly made during some of their visits. She brought character witnesses, my pastor, my sister Linda, 3 longtime neighbors, and even the lady who runs the senior center where I volunteer. Dr. Patel testified that my cognitive tests were perfectly normal for my age and that she managed her own affairs better than most people in their 50s. The judge listened carefully. At one point, he looked straight at Brittany and asked, "Mrs. Thompson, if your mother-in-law is so mentally unfit, why did you continue accepting large sums of money from her for years?" Brittany had no good answer. The ruling came down 2 weeks later. The petition was dismissed in full. The judge called the attempt deeply troubling and issued a restraining order preventing Ryan and Brittany from harassing me or coming to my home without permission. He also suggested I consider changing my will and estate plans. I did exactly that. I sold the small rental property my husband and I had owned in South Carolina. I used part of the money to fix up my own house, pay off my medical bills, and even take a quiet cruise to Alaska with my sister, something I had dreamed about for decades but never allowed myself because I was always saving for it, the kids. I set up a trust that ensures my remaining assets go to my grandchildren, but only when they turn 25 and only if they maintain a relationship with me without their parents' interference. Ryan and Brittany get nothing unless I choose otherwise. The silence after that was deafening. Ryan sent a few guilty texts. Brittany tried one last tearful voicemail. "We never meant to hurt you. We were just stressed." I didn't reply. Last month, I turned 73. I celebrated with my sister, my church friends, and a few neighbors at a small backyard barbecue. No one from Ryan's side was invited, and for the first time in many years, I felt peaceful, light, free. I still love my son. I always will. But love doesn't mean letting someone drain you dry and then throw you away when you're no longer useful. Sometimes the greatest act of love a mother can give her adult children is to stop rescuing them from the consequences of their own greed and entitlement. I'm living for myself now, gardening, reading, traveling a little, and helping at the senior center. I even started a small support group for other older parents who have been financially and emotionally exploited by their grown kids. If you're listening to this and you're in a similar situation, document everything. Get professional help early. And remember, your worth is not measured by how much you can give until there's nothing left of you. You deserve peace in your later years. This is Margaret Thompson, signing off. Thank you for listening to my story.